Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Matt Donahue coming to you on Monday, July 29th. This is our weekly market update. I hope everyone had a great weekend and their Monday is off to a great start, and we will jump into it. So, last week, market moving news, we had some uneven results in the overall markets. The S&P and Nasdaq retreated for the week, while the Dow was up a little bit. The markets were very interesting last week, right? There were some routes during the week, rallies on Monday and Friday, but really that big sell-off on Wednesday was just too big to be overcome on Monday and Friday with the rallies that occurred. There is still a market rotation going on. There's a performance shift within the U.S. equity market that has continued for 3 weeks now. Large caps are now trailing the previously lagging small cap segment, and growth equities are underperforming the value style. Over the past 3 weeks, large cap benchmarks fell 1.5%, while small caps have gone up 11.5%. On the equity style side, a growth index fell 6.6 over the last 3 weeks, while value is up over 4.6. So stay diversified. GDP lift, the U.S. economy picked up momentum for the second quarter despite historically high interest rates and continuing concerns about inflation. GDP expanded at an annual rate of 2.8% on the heels of first quarter's 1.4%. Inflation is stable. Keep in mind the Fed still wants to get inflation down to a 2% annual target rate, but the most recent report from last week, excluding energy and food prices, showed that the annual rate was 2.6% in June, which was the same as May, and also matched the slowest price growth in more than 3 years. On a month-to-month basis, core inflation rose 0.2% in June. Earnings are top heavy, so we're at the midpoint of earnings season. Four U.S. mega cap stocks have generally generated a much higher proportion of S&P 500. Their earnings were 9.8%. Excluding those of big tech firms, the index's projected growth rate was 5.7%. So big tech is having a big influence. Oil is sliding. The price of U.S. crude fell 4% for the week to around $77 a barrel. That's the lowest level in about 7 weeks. As recently as July 3rd, it was at $84 a barrel. People aren't buying it though. Anxiety is still high. CBOE, the volatility index, initially retreated, but on Friday it closed slightly below its level of the previous week, which means it's still very high. So people aren't buying that the economy is in great shape. Lots of reports coming up this week, some quarterly earnings coming out. The Federal Reserve has a board meeting on Wednesday. There's a jobs report coming out on Friday. The Fed is widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged, and the jobs report will show how July's jobs compared with June's, bigger than expected gain of 206,000. No major reports today on the 29th. Tomorrow, Tuesday, job openings, labor turnover, S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller 20 City Composite Home Price Index, and then the consumer confidence index is coming out as well tomorrow. So a lot tomorrow. Wednesday, of course, is that Federal Reserve Board meeting and the ADP National Employment Report. Thursday, we have the Institute for Supply Management's Manufacturing Index, construction spending from the U.S. Census Bureau, productivity, labor costs, weekly unemployment, and Friday, we have more unemployment reports coming out as well, in addition to factory orders. All right, let's talk some philosophy. Let's talk about a cure for the self. The person who has practiced philosophy as a cure for the self becomes great of soul, filled with confidence and invincible, and greater as you draw near. What does that mean? Essentially, it means, look, if you take care of yourself mentally, physically, right? If you surround yourself with good people, if you try to do good and meaningful things, you'll be a better person. You'll be a good person, and you'll be someone that people want to be around. So it all starts and stops with you, right? Are you doing the things that you should be doing? And how well do you do them? So, from a tax standpoint, this week we're going to talk a little bit about property and casualty insurance. And while that might not seem to be a direct correlation, what I want you to think about is just look, an underinsured person exposes themselves not just to unintended expenses, but also to unintended taxes. Because, for example, if you get in an auto accident and you have just $50,000 of coverage for underinsured or uninsured motorists, and total costs are $67,000, you're going to be responsible for paying an extra $17,000. Where's that come from? Probably comes out of an account of some kind. Does that have potential tax implications for you? Who knows, right? Who knows? But it probably does. So what you want to be thinking about is, do I have the right amounts of insurance? Do I have the right kinds of insurance? You might not just want to get that uninsured and underinsured motorist for bodily injury insurance, which every state's a little different. So you're going to want to talk to an insurance agent to learn more. But you might want to look at getting an umbrella policy as well. Umbrella policies kick in if your other insurance isn't enough to cover costs, coverages, medical, and property damage that you're involved in. Now, keep in mind, insurance companies are smart, right? They'll say, hey, you have to have X amount of coverage before we'll even offer you an umbrella policy. So don't think you can get super cheap on one side and then go get that umbrella for other stuff. They're going to say, look, you have to have at least this much, and then we'll be able to offer you an umbrella policy if that's something that fits in. So a couple things to think about there, and check out the full article on the website. Minimum insurance is not enough, right? You want to make sure you've got a little bit extra. Not buying underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage can easily increase your premiums as well, because remember, they may raise your rates even though you didn't cause the accident. And always consider umbrella surgery as well. All right, we're wrapping up July and our eye care month or eye health month. We're going to talk about LASIK. LASIK is the most popular and best known corrective laser refractive surgery to correct vision problems. I had LASIK surgery about 20 years ago, and it's been fantastic for me. Of course, in the last 5 or 6 years, I've had to use reading glasses. I've had to use, some glasses for when I'm working on the computer. But the reason I got LASIK was because I was nearsighted, which means I couldn't see stuff far away. That issue has never been done, or has never come up again for me. So LASIK worked out great for me. So LASIK typically works for 3 options or 3 issues. There's nearsightedness, where you can see pretty well up front, but in the distance, that's going to be blurry. That was me. Farsighted, okay, near vision is blurry. Sometimes the far away vision's blurry as well, and astigmatism just affects the whole thing. You probably don't want to do LASIK, though, if you have an eye disease that's messing with your cornea, and read the article to learn out more about that. If you already have good vision, or maybe you have really severe nearsightedness, another reason not to get it is very large pupils or thin corneas. So check out that article. There's a lot of great stuff in there. Some of the things you do to get ready when you have the surgery, and this is stuff I went through. Make sure you know what it's going to cost. Make sure you have someone to take you home, and don't put any makeup on. You want your eyes clean, you want the area around your eyes clean, and you're going to want to ride because it's difficult to see right away afterwards. So for me, at any rate, it's a lot of stuff that they talk about in the article. I basically had 2 or 3 days where my eyes felt really like sandpaper was in them. They were really sensitive to light for a little bit, and 3 or 4 days later, I was fine. Right. So you might want to sleep with some glasses on, protective glasses. You might want to not skip the makeup. So if you're someone who wears makeup on a regular basis, maybe you just plan to spend 3 or 4 days home. Hey, make a week of it, right? Make a week of it. But the results, hey, 80% of people who have gone through LASIK don't have to use their glasses or contact lenses. There's a lot more to it than what we're talking about today, but check out our blog on our website, www.missionfinancialplanners.com, to learn more. Otherwise, feel free to give us a call as well. You can always reach us toll free at 888-339-0093, 888-339-0093. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.